Hi everyone. So, for those of you who don't know, I am Alex and I am the president and co founder of First Love Yourself Incorporated, which is super exciting. I also work with my good friends Anna and Holly. So, we recently started a project where we asked people who are following us to share their journeys with self love and their just their story and where they are in the process. And so we obviously decided that we couldn't ask anyone to do anything that we weren't willing to do ourselves. So here I am to kick off the videos and tell you all a bit about my self love journey and where I am with it. So I am super unprepared for this. I have no notes or anything, so you're just gonna get a whole lot of me talking about my life and my story. And I might ramble a bit like I'm doing right now. So I think my self love story and my issues with self esteem kind of are similar to a lot of teenage girls, where my issues stemmed from body image issues. So when I was like 13, I was around 5'6", and weighed like 140. I was really tiny. I just didn't know I was pretty tiny. I just remember like looking in the mirror and just like seeing this really big person, and I wasn't a big person, but it's just like what I was seeing in myself, just someone who was big. And so I got into these really bad habits of comparing myself to every single person around me and wishing that I looked like this girl or that girl or whatever. And then I got into the habit of like trying to eat less. I just would eat as little as I could to get away with it, and just went through all these really odd things. And like it was just this really long cycle, and it was like a game of like how long can I go without eating, and how much weight can I lose in a week, and all of these things. And like it was just never ending. And then it took me a really long time to realize that I could never hate myself into loving myself. And that's a really weird statement to say, but like you will never hate yourself into loving yourself. And I mean, this was through all of high school. Through all of high school, I really struggled. And I'm not saying I didn't have ups in high school. I had friends and I did things, and I had fun and I laughed and I did all of those things. But I also spent a lot of time being sad. And I think I spent more time than I should have being sad. And that's the thing. It's not that I was never happy. I just spent more time than I should have being sad. And so I got to college, and college I thought my freshman year that I loved myself. I really thought I did, but I for sure didn't. I started going to the gym, which was like awesome, and I got into weightlifting, which was awesome, but then I got really, really obsessive about it. And I was at the gym for 5 hours almost every day. I would go in the morning for like 2 hours and do cardio and weights, and then if I didn't like burn 1,000 calories in the morning, I would like finish burning the rest of my 1,000 at night when I went back to either do Zumba or yoga or dance practice, because I was on dance team at the time. And I was just obsessive, and I would go to the dining hall and eat like a baked potato with vegetarian chili on it all the time, or like a salad, and I just wasn't really doing anything productive, other than hurting myself more and like pretending that I liked myself. And it was just obsessive, and it was awful, and it was just I beat myself up all the time, and I left the gym crying all of the time because it was like I didn't burn that 1,000 calories, or I didn't go for as long as I wanted to. And instead of like celebrating myself for getting there and celebrating myself for like committing or trying to commit to a healthier lifestyle, I was just beating myself up more and more and more because I wasn't whatever. Um, so that went on pretty much all of my freshman year. And then I went back for sophomore year of college, and I had an interesting year that year. That's the year my parents moved to Arizona, which is awesome. They love it there, and I'm really happy that they're there. And I just had a lot of like personal things going on that got me really down. And I just realized that, I don't know, it got to a point where I was like in bed for a whole week. I had a concussion at the time, so I was able to skip class, which was a really convenient excuse for me to just lay in bed and be sad and do nothing. And I remember my friends having to check on me to make sure I was showering. And I remember my friends having to check on me to make sure I was eating and getting out of my room once a day, or even just like cleaning it. And I was sick of being sad, and I was sick of yelling at myself and being mean to myself. And I realized that if I ever talked to another human being the way that I was talking to myself, literally nobody in the whole world would talk to me. I would have 0% of friends. So I decided to start trying to like myself. And that sounds really weird, but for those of you who know me, you all know that I live my life by the fake it till you make it mentality. So I am constantly pretending I know what I'm doing when I don't. So I decided to start pretending like I liked myself. And it was weird and it was hard and it was really difficult to like be nice to myself and whatever. And like every day I was trying to like say nice things about myself, like I would look really great in those jeans, or I'm so proud of you for going to the gym, or it's cool that you ate that cheeseburger and the second cheeseburger and all of the french fries, and it's whatever, those things happen. And I didn't feel like any of those things were true, but I was telling myself them. And I guess I started telling them to myself long enough that eventually I started to believe them, that like I do look good and I am beautiful and I am capable and enough and important, and it is okay if I, slip up on whatever I'm eating, and it's okay to like not fear food and not be afraid, and it's okay to not go to the gym sometimes. Um that was really crazy. That was like mind blowing. I wish I had words for you all. I wish I could tell you how mind blowing that was to me. Just that like those things were okay, and that I wasn't just saying them anymore. I really like believed them, and I really felt pretty a lot, and I really felt all of these things. And I mean, like since college I've gained 40 pounds. It is what it is. Um and that's something I remember looking at the scale and I would see like plus 2 pounds on there and I would cry. Now I'm plus 40 pounds and I think about it, and I mean, like last September I ran a half marathon with my friend Sarah, and I will never in my life run a half marathon again because I hate running. And I thought if I ran a half marathon I would like running, but I still hate running. But I ran the thing. My butt ran 13.1 miles, and that was insane. And I studied abroad twice in Spain, and just all of these things that I never thought I could do because I was so mean to myself. Like all of a sudden, I liked myself and doors just opened for me, and I was doing things and I was reaching out more, and I like had more friends, and I was more willing to go out and be with those people and be happy and just like celebrate all of these things in my life. Just it's incredible. And then I graduated college and I live in California now, which is insane. Like I just went to California. I didn't know anybody here, and I love it here. My job is insane. I work with all of these crazy kids. They're so fun most of the time. And I just am doing all of these things that are just really great. And I still, every single day, I have an app on my phone. I read positive affirmations every single morning because I think it's important. And I think just constantly like complimenting yourself. And I think so many people are afraid to compliment themselves and be nice to themselves. And I actually had a talk with my fourth graders about it, and they were like, "No, Miss Alex, you're not supposed to compliment yourself. You're supposed to get compliments from other people and accept them." And I was like, "That's insane. That's such an insane way of thinking. No, you need to be complimenting yourself. You don't need other people to pick you up." I just really wish I could like tell you all how firmly I believe all of these things. Like, compliment yourself every single day, and like, you really are beautiful, and you really are capable and enough and worthy, and just all of these things. And I think one of the most powerful statements I've ever told myself in my whole life was that I'm enough, and like who I am as a person in this exact moment is enough for this world, and it's enough for me. Just like telling yourself these little statements of like I am, and then insert whatever word, is just like so powerful and can do so much on a daily basis. I know everyone else who's submitting videos to us, you may not be in the same place as me, and your journey may look vastly different than mine. And, maybe you never struggled with self love and you've always accepted yourself, or maybe you're still struggling and you haven't gotten to that point yet. And I think that's the beautiful thing in all of this, is that like we all have different stories, but someone will connect to your story, and it's so powerful to like share them and speak out about them and constantly just like pick each other up when you can't pick yourself up. And so I encourage all of you to share your stories and to submit them, and I hope that it reaches people and that it connects to people. And I really hope that all of you have a beautiful journey, because I believe in self-love so wholeheartedly. I mean, my journey is really what inspired me to start this whole nonprofit. When I was younger, I just wish more people encouraged me to like myself, because not enough people did. And I always compare it to like that scene in Mean Girls where all the girls are standing in the mirror like hating on themselves, and then Lindsay Lohan doesn't know what to say mean about herself, and she's like, "I have bad breath in the morning," and they're like, "That was a weird mean thing to say about yourself." Like, I feel like high school was so like that, where it was weird to compliment yourself, and that's radical to me. always compliment yourself and always compliment others, because it's not difficult to be kind, and the positivity you put towards yourself and the positivity you put out in the world will just always come back to you, and just only good things will come from it. And I think everyone deserves that. I think everyone deserves to just like feel comfortable in their own skin, and like not just comfortable, but like more than that, just beautiful and radiant and enough and capable and strong and powerful and empowered. And I could go on and on with words that you should all feel about yourselves. And I really encourage all of you to do these things and share your stories. So this was my story, and I hope I didn't bore you all with this crazy long video of me just rambling on about myself. And if you have a story, I would love, love, love to hear it, and you can email it to us at firstloveyourself.info@gmail.com. I hope to see you all on our YouTube channel, because it's just a really beautiful thing. Thank you all. You're great.